Hi guys, I wanted to make a quick video for you to go over the differences in eyebrow services because I know that it can be kind of confusing because there's a few to choose from. I thought this would be a nice reference video if you're thinking of booking, just for you to know the differences and feel confident in what you're booking. Of course, if you book the wrong thing, it's really not a big deal. We'll always do what is right for you and your brows, but I thought this would be helpful for some people. So the first services I'm going to start with are our most natural or fluffy services with hair strokes. So of course at the top we have microblading. Microblading is using a manual tool to make the brows feel naturally fuller. So it uses a handpiece with a tiny little blade which scratches the epidermal layers of your skin. So that means it's very shallow and it's creating just like a realistic hair type of look, very fluffy. This service is good for somebody who naturally has a lot of brow hair. You don't have to have an extremely full eyebrow, but at least like a nice dusting of hair all the way throughout. Basically, you just don't want to be somebody who has very patchy eyebrows, little to no hair, or maybe like very coarse hair and you have hair in some spots but not other parts. So if you have normal skin, if you have normal to combo skin, or you have dry skin, microblading is a good choice for you. If you are looking for something that is very natural, just a nice enhancement to your brows. Microblading is also, or any hair stroke service is also good for people to start with as well, because you can always build off of it. You can always add more. Whereas if you start with a shading service and you're not looking for something like filled in or, more, I don't know. I don't like to say dramatic because it all heals like very natural and soft, but sometimes microblading is better to start with because you can always build off of it. So yeah, the next one we have is nano brows or machine hair strokes, textured hair strokes, whatever, you want to call them. This means that it looks very similar to microblading and it has the hair strokes, but instead of being done with a manual tool, it's done with a machine. So the benefit of this can be you can get a more packed in hair stroke pattern. With microblading, you aren't really able to put hair strokes very close together. So with the machine, you're able to just get a little bit more of a realistic kind of like full look if somebody doesn't have a lot of hair, just with the way that you're able to maneuver the hair strokes together. You still can't pack them tightly together, but you can kind of get a little bit of a bolder hair stroke, something that for someone who doesn't have a lot of hair is looking a little bit more hairy and realistic, because microblading can be very fine, very little strokes, like very thin strokes. So the machine is able to kind of give you a little bit more of a realistic look if you don't have a ton of hair. It can be better for oily skin types. It's still not the best if you have very oily skin. But basically that's the two differences between our hair stroke services. We also have our shading services. So to start with that, we have combo brows, and at Izora we offer two different styles of combo. We call them soft combo and sculpted combo. So I say soft combo is kind of like a step up from microblading. I sometimes say it's microblading on steroids because it still has hair strokes at the fronts and around the edges. So it still gives you that like very fluffy, realistic look. And then the shading goes through the center of the brow, which if you don't have a lot of brow hair, the center being a little bit more dense with the shading does give it a more realistic look, because that's usually like where a lot of your natural density would fall in the brows. Soft combo is basically, it's the same deal for like microblading in terms of skin type. If you have a dry, dry, normal to combination, combination skin type, soft combo will work for you. If you are very oily, then I would not suggest getting something with a lot of hair strokes like microblading or soft combo. If you don't know if you're super oily, you can always stop in for a consultation. You can send pictures. And of course, like I said, the day of, if we as artists or me as an artist feels like I need to do something else, of course, I'm always going to do that. I'm not just going to be like, sucks to be you, I'm going to do it anyways. I'm always going to make sure that I do exactly what I feel is best, talk to you about it, explain to you so that you feel like, you feel comfortable basically. So sculpted combo is what we call when we just do a couple of hair strokes at the front of the brow. We can do this with the microblade or the machine. Either way, it looks, very similar. So it's where you have a few natural little hairs in the front and then the rest of your shape is shaded in. If you have a lot of eyebrow hair and you want a very soft, natural look, any of these styles really can look natural because everything heals down very soft. If you've had permanent makeup done, you know that it's not gonna look as topically intense as makeup itself would. But sculpted combo is very pretty. Like me, for example, I have a good amount of brow hair. So I could do microblade. It's basically you can do any service you want. But for me, if I just did a couple of hair strokes in the front and then I did shading the rest of the way, it would kind of define my arches where I don't have a lot of hair. But because I have that fluffy hair naturally on top of the shaded color, it's still gonna come out very natural, if that makes sense. But this style is good for anyone who wants a little bit more definition. If you want it to look a little bit more similar to when you fill in your brows with a pencil, you like the clean edges, you like the definition, hopefully that makes sense. Then last but not least, we have ombre brows or soft powder brows, powdered ombre. All those terms are essentially the same thing. Sorry if you see like little dust flying around. I feel like I can see it. I don't know if when I watch it, yeah, look. Cat hair, sorry. But ombre brows or soft powder brows, whatever you want to call it, that basically means all shading. So no hair strokes at all, a color that goes from the beginning of the brow to the end of the brow. If you want a like true ombre style, that means that the shading is softer at the fronts and gets a little bit heavier towards the arch and the tail, so you have like a nice blended look. A soft powder brow, to me and to Izora, means that it's just a soft kind of fill of color all the way throughout. Kind of similar to like if you were to get your brows tinted or with henna on them, or to put like a powder through them. So if you have a lot of natural hair, or if you're looking for something that looks very like shaded in, then this can be a good option. Also, our sculpted combo and our ombre or soft powder styles, those are very good for somebody that has oilier skin, because the shading is going to hold up a little bit longer in the skin. So this is better for people with oily skin, but it's really fine for anybody that has any sort of skin type. All of our brow services will have an initial session, and then 6 to 8 weeks later, you will have a touch-up session. Our touch-up sessions are always $100. That just accounts for the product that we use and our time. If we were to not charge for our touch-ups, we would lose money on product, but also if we had, 4 or 5 touch-ups in a day, we wouldn't be making any money that day. And when you're in this industry, the way that your services fall really does impact your income. So that's why we make sure that we kind of split the costs into two. Obviously, the touch-up is a much lower expense, but it's just something to kind of give us a little bit of cushion for the time and product that we are using during that time. With permanent makeup, after just one session, the brows will heal down a little bit soft than maybe you may want. It always takes the 2 sessions to perfect them, to build up the color, especially if you're looking for something that's going to replace filling them in. For a lot of people, those 2 sessions are required to really get the brow perfect. After just one session, you'll have areas that need the touch up. Maybe a hair stroke got lighter. Maybe a section of your brow kind of didn't hold the shading, things like that. The first session that you have is teaching your artist about your skin type, how your body reacts to the pigment and everything like that. So that's why we always have you come back. Sometimes a client's touch up can take, 30 minutes. Sometimes it takes, over an hour and a half. It all just depends. Everyone is a little bit different. And when you come in for your appointment, for your initial appointment, we go over everything with you. We draw out the brows, we shape them out. We show that shape to you and explain why we think that shape would work for you. We take your wants and needs into consideration as well. And we choose a color with you. We basically walk you through the whole process and make sure that both of us are comfortable with proceeding before we do anything. I know a lot of people get a little bit nervous about like, oh, well, how are they going to look, or what color do I choose? What shape do I do? That's what we're here for. We're here to help you with all of that. So, be at ease with that. We will walk you through everything. We really love what we do. I'm very blessed to say that I have a team that is very talented and very loving, very caring, very genuine. And, they are all trained to perform at this level. So, don't be nervous about anything. We got you, girl. Don't worry about it. But yeah, you'll see everything before we get started. Then the touch up, of course, 6 to 8 weeks later, you'll come back and we'll just, make everything perfect for you. After that, typically brow service can last 1 to 3 years and up. It just depends on which style you get, your skin, your lifestyle, everything, all that matters. And with both sessions, you do have about 10-day healing process, and we'll go over all that with you as well. But if you have any questions at all, feel free to send me a DM or comment or an email or give us a call, or whatever method works for you. We are here for you. But nonetheless, thank you so much for trusting me or any one of my team at Azora Studio with your brows, lips, liner, anything, teeth whitening, all of it. I will make separate, if this is helpful, I'll make separate videos on lip blushing and eyeliner and things like that. But thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it helped. And as always, thank you for all of your love and support over the years. I'm very blessed to have all the clients that I do, and I really love and care about all of you, and I appreciate you more than you'll ever know.